Hey everyone, welcome to Logan's Mosh Pit. Glad to have you here. So today we're going to do another episode of the Breaking Down Songs series, which is where we take a closer look at some of my favorite songs from all kinds of different bands and analyze the lyrics. Because when we do that, we gain a deeper appreciation for the music we listen to. If there's a specific band you guys want me to cover in a future video, please leave a comment down below. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to see next. If I like the band and I'm pretty familiar with their discography, I'll probably do it. So with that out of the way, we're going to do Guns N' Roses today, talk about them, hence the Axl wig. I was Axl Rose for Halloween last year. I had the wig, the bandana, the tattoos, everything. And the costume turned out really well. So I figured, why not wear the wig for this video? It's only fitting, right? I can barely see what I'm doing, so bear with me. So, let's get started with some Guns N' Roses. So first, I want to tell you guys what my favorite song is from my top 5 Guns N' Roses album. This is just how I would rank them. Now, at the bottom of the list, at number 5, we have their latest album, Chinese Democracy. Now, everyone knows Chinese Democracy wasn't peak Guns N' Roses. Their best days were behind them. But this album still had a few standout tracks. Still had some of that fire that made Guns N' Roses so special. Including this song, Street of Dreams. Next up, at number 4 from Guns N' Roses' Lies album, I picked You're Crazy. Now, this album was a bit of an outlier in the Guns N' Roses discography because it was more acoustic based. It had some softer tracks on there. It wasn't typical Guns N' Roses. They did something a little different, trying to experiment some. Next up, from Use Your Illusion 2, I picked You Could Be Mine. Awesome song. Next up, from Use Your Illusion 1, even better, we got the cover song, Live and Let Die. Fantastic tune. And at number 1, top of the list, I chose, no surprise here, Appetite for Destruction, album most fans think of when Guns N' Roses gets mentioned. And from that album, I picked the song Rocket Queen. So that's the song we're going to dive into today. But before we get into that, I want to go over real quick what I think the key was to Guns N' Roses' success, what made them such an amazing band in so many fans' minds. I think it all centers around the relationship between the lead singer Axl Rose and their guitar player Slash. I think they went together like peanut butter and jelly. You know, their relationship was arguably the core of Guns N' Roses, why they were so successful, why to this day they continue to sell out arenas all over the world and still go strong, touring all over the world. Why so many fans fell in love with their music. It's because of this iconic duo. And both of them are equally impressive. Not to discount the other members of the band or anything, but you know, when you have on one side Axl's unparalleled vocal range, those screeching high notes, and then on the other side you have Slash's excellent guitar playing. His skills with that instrument were almost inhuman. So when you put those two qualities together, it creates something absolutely incredible. And when I listen to a Guns N' Roses song, you know, the vocals and the guitar playing carry equal weight for me. When I decide if I like a Guns N' Roses song or not, the vocals have just as much influence as the guitar playing. Both of them carry equal weight when I listen to them. They both have an impact. So, with that out of the way, let's get into some background on the Appetite for Destruction album, their debut album. It came out in 1987 and sold over 30 million copies worldwide, including 18 million in the US. You had the singles It's So Easy, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City and the Night Train cover. Now that alone would probably be enough to please any Guns N' Roses fan. Honestly, I don't think there's any forgettable tracks on this album. I think every song on Appetite for Destruction is worth your time. It's one of the most solid albums out there. And that becomes even more impressive when you consider this was their very first album. So they set the bar very high. So now let's get into the lyrics of Rocket Queen and discuss them further. Now just keep in mind, this is just my interpretation of the lyrics. It's my opinion. And your opinion might be different from mine. That's okay. We all look at these songs differently. There's no right or wrong answer here. The beautiful thing about songs is they can be interpreted countless different ways. So let's respect each other's opinions. So starting off with verse 1, it goes, "If I say I don't need anyone, I can say these things to you, 'cause I can turn on anyone just like I've turned on you. I've got a tongue like a razor, a sweet switchblade knife, and I can do you favors, but then you'll do whatever I like." So I think this part is talking about how, it feels like a predator type of environment, a predator stalking their prey, going after a weaker target. They know exactly what they want. They're incredibly focused on their goal. They're not interested in having any type of commitment with the opposite sex, but it's more of a battle for dominance instead of an equal relationship. And there's an obsession with control mixed into those lyrics, They want to be completely in command of the other person, almost own them in a way. And they're purely motivated by the thrill of chasing this person, of making them theirs. So that's what I got out of it. Now moving on to the chorus, it says, "Here I am, and you're a rocket queen. I may be a little young, but honey, I ain't naive. Here I am, and you're a rocket queen. Oh yeah. I might be too much, but honey, you're a bit obscene." Okay, so there in the chorus, I think it's talking about how age doesn't necessarily define maturity. It's not the be-all or end-all measuring device. The guy in the song was forced to grow up too fast, faster than they wanted to. They experienced so much in their short time frame of life that kids their age wouldn't be able to relate to. Like they have an old soul. So, and then I think with the Rocket Queen image, you have someone who's an adrenaline junkie, kind of a daredevil type of personality. Someone who's feisty, someone who doesn't let other people push them around. They're willing to stand up for what they consider wrong. The alpha female type of image that we associate in our culture. And it's also talking about how lust keeps increasing throughout the song for the person they're talking about. And you almost see the story of how they become fascinated with their target's physical appearance, the person they're going after. They're overwhelmed by the amount of attraction they feel to this person on a physical level, but they still feel really self-confident in themselves that they're able to handle whatever this person dishes out. They feel like they can take it. So now let's move on to verse 2. It says, "I've seen everything imaginable pass before these eyes. I've had everything that's tangible. Honey, you'd be surprised. I'm a sexual innuendo in this burned out paradise. If you turn me on to anything, you better turn me on tonight." Now I think here what we see is, again, going back to those really high standards that the person with the high self-esteem has. They want all or nothing when they see someone that they're attracted to. Go big or go home type of attitude. They want that experience from their partner. They expect their partner to give 110%. So it's very hard to please them. And you also see some borderline narcissism there, where they view themselves as the greatest thing ever. Like, no matter who they're attracted to, that they're going to be the one in control. They're going to be the top dog. So then we go back to the chorus, which is obviously the same as before. Then you go through the fantastic guitar solo, the chorus one more time. Then we get to the bridge part, which goes, I see you standing on your own. It's such a lonely place for you to be. If you need a shoulder, or if you need a friend, I'll be standing here until the bitter end. So, I think the first part of the bridge means how it takes an unexpected twist in this story, how the guy falls in love with this girl, but he didn't plan on that happening. At first, he thought they were just going to be physically intimate and then go their separate ways after they satisfied each other, but now he starts feeling this protective instinct inside of him, this need to keep her safe, to protect her from harm. He actually grows to care about her and becomes more attracted to her in ways beyond the physical point of view. So he starts to develop deeper feelings for her than he originally anticipated. So now we get to the second part of the bridge, which says, no one needs the sorrow, no one needs the pain. I hate to see you walking out there, out in the rain. So don't chastise me or think I mean you harm. Of course those that take you leave, strung out much too far. Baby, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. No, 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 no. Baby, yeah. Probably could have skipped those parts, huh? But anyway, you get the idea. I think the second part of the bridge is going along the same lines as the first part, how he doesn't want to break this girl's heart because he's grown to care for her. He legitimately cares about her, and it's not going to be like past relationships that ended badly for her. He's trying to convince her that he's actually worth her time in the relationship and that he won't let her down the same way that other guys did in the past, and prove that he's actually worth having, that she won't regret getting into a relationship with him. So like I said, it's the opposite of how it started. Then finally we have the outro, which is short, but it still leaves an impact for sure. It says, don't ever leave me, say you'll always be there. All I ever wanted was for you to know that I care. So the outro could mean a couple different things, but I think it's soulmate-esque. You know, he needs this woman in his life and vice versa. And toward the end, it could go either way. I think it could be a promise from him to her that he's not going to leave her, you know, that he's always going to be by her side and take care of her. Or from a different perspective, it could be talking about how he ruined a chance of being in a relationship with her. Something went wrong and destroyed the relationship, and he's trying to beg for another chance, and this is his way of kind of asking for forgiveness from her. It could go either way. I'm not sure exactly what Axel meant in this part, but I'm leaning toward the latter, but I don't know. The only person who knows for sure is Axel. So now that we've gone over the lyrics, let's touch on some themes. Go over what themes stood out in the song. Now, to me, you have this sexual tension between the two people in the story, the two characters, and it comes from a futuristic point of view about what's going to happen later on in the relationship, kind of speculating about after one choice leads to another, what will happen after that. Then you feel the anticipation about their time together from his point of view, how he's looking forward to being with her, but the reasons change throughout the song. And then this song is also geared toward young adults because it focuses on how hormones, which are so active in teenagers and young adults, it's like you always got to satisfy these urges somehow. You're willing to go to great lengths to, quench those desires that you feel inside of yourself. So, and it also talks about rushing into a situation without having a plan in mind. You just kind of go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. It is what it is type of attitude. And then I think it talks about how, life can throw curveballs at you. You should expect the unexpected. Like the person in the song, they didn't expect at all to fall in love with the person in the song. They thought it was just going to be a one-time thing, but they never expected to develop feelings for this person. And I think that's the way it goes for a lot of relationships. So, but when life takes all these twists and turns, you just gotta be prepared and kind of adapt as you go. So, what's the most memorable line from Rocket Queen? Well, I picked the line, "I might be a little young, but honey, I ain't naive." To me, I think that line kind of reflects our culture in a significant way because it kind of gets into the issue where we underestimate people who are younger to us. We tend to look down on people who are younger than us and view them as stupid or, think they're not as important as we are. But at times, people who are younger than us can actually surprise us with what they're capable of, with how resourceful they are. So I don't agree with that point of view, but it's the dominant way of thinking in our culture. It has stuck with us all these years. Now we get to the strengths and weaknesses of Rocket Queen. So I think a major strength is how personal this song is, And if you don't believe me, look at Axl Rose's tattoo on his right arm. You have the Rocket Queen girl from the song tattooed on his shoulder. So obviously this song was special to him. It meant a lot to him, enough that he wanted it to remain a permanent part of his life. And then you have Axl's wailing and Slash's flawless execution on the guitar, which I touched on earlier, makes the song so amazing, It's one of those songs that keeps your attention the whole time, that you can't stop listening to. And then this song is really heavy on the imagery, You have the tongue like razors, the sexual innuendo line, and then the title itself, the Rocket Queen, that makes you think, takes the song on a deeper level, makes you wonder what exactly is going on here. Then you have the sheer boldness of the song, the bravery that Guns N' Roses had to explore a taboo or a controversial topic. And most bands wouldn't be willing to take that risk, but Guns N' Roses was the exception. So now, what's the weakness of Rocket Queen? Well, I think the only real weakness of the song is that distracting moaning you have going on in the background. throughout the song. If you've listened to Rocket Queen before, I'm sure you noticed it. Wondered why it was there. I don't think the moaning is really a necessary part of the song. I think it's good enough without the moaning. So I don't really see the point of that, but whatever. So finally, on a scale of 1 to 10, how replayable is this song? Well, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's pretty close to perfect. I think it's definitely one of the better songs that Guns N' Roses has released. A song you don't hear as often as some of the others, you know, like Welcome to the Jungle or Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, all those songs you hear everywhere. This is something a little different. I think it grows on you the more you listen to it. And I think it's aged better than a lot of other tracks released by this band. And we obviously know that Axl Rose has confirmed the song is about a girl that he was attracted to before Guns N' Roses became mainstream, but I think when we look at the lyrics, we can still interpret them and try to figure out what was going through Axl's mind. So even though we technically know what the song's about, there's still more to uncover. So, as always, I left a link in the description to the song Rocket Queen. If you guys want to check it out, highly recommend it. But that does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, rock on.